If your sales calls keep ending in, I need to think about it, or I need to check my finances, I can guarantee that you're making this one mistake and it's absolutely killing your conversions, your close rate on a sales call. Now, the truth is, most coaches, most business owners pitch the product, they don't pitch the emotions that come with the outcome. And this is why they struggle to close. In this video, I'm going to break down why it happens and how you can prevent this mistake from even happening and how you can fix it so that you can close more sales calls, more deals, make more money. Now, most coaches, they get on a call and when it gets to the pitch, they immediately start talking about features. They start talking about benefits. They start talking about plans. They start talking about WhatsApp communication. They start talking about check-ins. They start talking about WhatsApp support. You get access to this app, blah, blah, blah. You get X training plan, you get nutrition plans, we have community calls with accountability calls. That's typically what tends to happen on a sales call for most coaches who don't know how to sell with expertise. And they get to a point where they go through all this and then the prospect gives them objections and they wonder why ultimately the prospect isn't excited. Now, here's the problem. People do not care about your product. People do not buy products. They buy the emotions, the transformations, the outcomes that is attached to the product and the emotions that are attached to the outcome of your service. So if you think about it, why does someone buy a gym membership? They're not buying the membership so they can have access to a building full of weights, treadmills, cardio equipment. They're buying the confidence, the energy and the body that they've always wanted that will come attached to the gym. Now, when you actually pitch the product, you're missing the one thing that actually drives a decision. And that's emotion and the urgency to actually feel that emotion. So how can you actually fix this problem so that you get less objections? Instead of like listing features, paint a picture of what the life will look like for that person after they've said yes and after they've invested with yourself. Now, there's actually 3 steps that we can follow step by step to solve this, to solve this problem. Now, step number 1 is to ultimately identify their deep pain and their deep desire and the reasoning behind wanting to achieve said goal. Now, in order to do this, we need to ask deeper questions on a sales call. We need to go below surface level and we need to pull out these deep, these painful emotions in the prospect so that we can uncover these reasons. Now, the best sort of questions to ask, you can sort of steal this if you want. I would ask, what do you feel the biggest thing holding you back right now would be? That could be their emotional state, it could be their physical state. Then when they respond, I would say something like, okay, I get that. Now, if you don't mind me asking, you've mentioned that it's been sort of like 5 to 6 months. What sort of emotional impact do you feel being stuck in the same position has, for the last 6 months, has had on you? What impact has it had on your relationships? What impact has it had on your mental health? We really want them to sit in those feelings and tell us exactly what those feelings are. And that's step number 2, we need to make them feel it. We can use a lot of storytelling questions to create an actual emotional impact within that prospect to get them to paint a picture of being the new version of themselves. So we can say something like, let's say you were to fast forward to 6 months from now, you're in a place where you've achieved your goal. Obviously you need to repeat the goal to them, but I'm just saying the goal, and you just feel, obviously then we repeat the desired outcome. How do you feel that achieving that would make you feel internally? What sort of impact do you feel like it would have on your confidence, your happiness, your mental health, your relationships? We're really getting to get this prospect to feel what their life is going to be like 6 months down the line. And then we need to insert the urgency here so that they have a reason to act. What we can do is just simply acknowledge what they've said and say, okay, I love that. Now, if you don't mind me asking, why do you feel like it's important for you to take the action right now? So you can feel exactly like you just described in 6 months from now, as opposed to potentially shelving this for 3 to 6 months. Now, that's going to give you a good reason for them to be sort of feeling urgency and feel the need to act. And then what we can do is we can create consequences as well to really drive this home. And you can say something like, okay, love that. Now, on the flip side of things, let's say you weren't to achieve this goal in 6 months, you didn't get there, and you stayed in the same position for the next 6 months to 3 to 6 months struggling. What sort of impact do you feel like that would have on you, your emotions, maybe even your relationships, or even on your life as a whole? Now, what this is going to do is it's going to get the prospect to imagine the consequences of not acting, which is going to really be like, get them to feel like, shit, I need to act. Now, this is where we bridge into the pitch and the offer. Now, what we need to do is connect that emotion to the solution. We need to make them go symbiotic. Now, what we can say something to the extent of, okay, I can tell how important it is for you, and I can tell that you just want to fast forward to 6 months from now where you are, insert the goal, and you feel like insert the emotion. Do you feel like you agree? Obviously, you can agree to this because we're tying them into how they sort of want to feel. And what we can also say here to negate the consequences is, obviously, you know, I don't want you to carry on feeling X and Y that you've just mentioned for the last 3 to 6 months. So this is what we're going to do, and this is where we pitch. I'm going to work with you one-to-one for 6 months, 3 months, however long it is. I'll cover everything for you, including training, nutrition. However, the most important thing that we are going to work on for the next 3-6 months is to get you feeling X, Y, and Z. And I know that working with me one-to-one over the next 6 months, get you there. Then what you can say is, do you feel like that sounds like it would work for you? Once we've asked them this question, ultimately, they're gonna say yes. When they say yes, we can either do one of two things. We can either anchor this down and be like, okay, why do you feel like that works for you? So then we can eliminate the I need to think about it objection. Or we can just go in for the close and we can say something like, okay, I love that. Now, for us to work one-to-one together for the next 6 months so that we can achieve goal and stop you from feeling current pain, that's where we insert the current pain, like you just mentioned, which you obviously mentioned how important it is to you, it's just a one-time investment of the price. Now, obviously, after we say the price, we stay silent. I'm gonna make a future YouTube video on that. But ultimately, the whole point of this, and what I've just told you, I have witnessed firsthand coaches completely do a U-turn with their closing percentage by just making this one small change in their pitch. It can be one of the most impactful things that you do that will lead to you closing more deals. When you actually stop selling products and you start selling the emotions that come with your service, you're gonna firstly close more deals, but you're probably gonna feel a lot better about how you sell and the way that you actually sell. Now, if you actually wanna find out more about how I can inject my sales system into your business and give you all the tools that you completely need, give you all the tools that you need to increase your closing percentage, book more calls, and make sales ultimately effortless. There's a link in the description to book a one-to-one call with me, completely free, no strings attached, and it's basically going to be a call so we can map out how I can help, how my course and my information can help you, and what sort of results we can actually get for your business if you were to do the course. The link's going to be down below. If you want to click that and book a call in, that's completely fine. If you want to see more of sort of what I'm about, how I can help, the link will be down below as well, and I'll catch you soon.